Hey guys, I'm Sync.
And I'm Echo.
And we are back once again playing Phoenix Wright's Justice for All. In the last episode, talked to Edgeworth. We're in trial. It's time to do a trial, guys. It's trial day. Part 1 of 2.
Let's do this.
Adrian did it?
What?
That's what it looks like.
Looks like what? That she killed him?
Dude, no way! That woman couldn't do anything like that!
Are we talking about the suicide? I swear, Phoenix, I don't think you're supposed to disclose that to him.
In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer, dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that.
Well, it's too late now.
I understand.
Well, it's almost time.
Mia!
We must get a complete acquittal today.
I know. I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's, either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of today.
Indeed. Well, let's get going.
Uh-oh. It's him. This is right. Good morning. This is Mr. Attorney.
This is it, Mr.
This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, I checked on her earlier this morning. She seemed a bit, how should we say, tired. Tired. Well, she was tired.
She was tired, but still.
Don't worry. People don't die that easily.
Yes, they do!
Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For myself, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial opens, even if you don't like my gift. I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please.
Contest.
Wait. The kidnapper sent me a present. Mr. Lawyer Dude, who was that? No one. It's nothing you have to... Yeah, it has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything.
It has everything to do with him.
Dude, did your nose just get longer?
Yes.
Oh.
What?
Empty prosecutors. The court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma?
Why are you asking me? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me?
Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. The court is in session.
Is Von Karma unconscious?
If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman.
Holy crap!
What?
Shot? Somehow. I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present? Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she disappeared, this would be to your advantage. This is totally insane! Miss Von Karma, is she alright?
I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. You're...
I thought he'd show up.
Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Von Karma cannot appear in courts today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally.
You're not in the prosecution, Stan.
Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Which might be the same shoulder that Manfred Von Karma was shot in.
I was wondering, like, where was Karma shot in?
Luckily, I have looked this case over and I'm familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Ungard. The court acknowledges the prosecution.
So this is what my brother meant by you have to work with Edgeworth.
Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year.
That finger waggle.
By the time this case comes to the end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please, bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Hey, Gumshoe. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir.
Detective Gumshoe!
The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head and face forward like the proud officer, Detective Gumshoe. Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that.
Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight.
Yeah.
It would have to be with... It would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Does it have to do with justice and, like, stuff like that we already probably know?
This murder happened at the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corda, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking at the cause of death, we believe it was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
Okay.
After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Bare facts of the case. Hang on, just gotta...
Refresh ourselves with the evidence. Guitar case. Water on the outside.
There's the death. This is Nickel Samurai. Got it. Barrel transceiver. Tabloid was about the victim in the case. Love scandal. Map. Okay. The victim was found dead in his hotel room. We thought there was something suspicious about the guitar case. However, we found out that the guitar case has nothing to do with the murder. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case?
The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corda, had apparently taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar.
So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel.
Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all.
I find that suspicious.
Yeah, we should find out more about the guitars. About the guitar.
Our first order of business should be to gather more info from his testimony, but there might be a trap set up for us somewhere. Maybe. However, setting off traps is part of a lawyer's job too. If you say so. Of course, we're supposed to escape from them too, wouldn't you say?
Yes, trigger them and escape from them.
Dead.
Definitely murder.
The cause of death. Wasn't that because Mr. Corda was stabbed in the chest?
Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. Banana? His bandana, sir. Has that thing wrapped around tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented banana.
Okay. Then what about the knife?
It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. So we have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Autopsy report added to court record.
Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife.
And the bandana would have hid the stress marks put around the neck.
Wait. So you're telling me that you found out he was strangled with a scarf and then he was stabbed with that knife after he died.
Yeah.
With a knife that has Matt on Guard's fingerprints.
Yes.
And they still suspect Matt on Guard
Did it.
as the killer.
Yeah.
That's like red flags everywhere.
We gotta pull it apart.
That's like big flashing red lights.
Big red flag. Let's say about the guitar case, the empty guitar case again. Or not again.
Not this is the other one.
Yeah.
So why do you think that?
Because it was empty, pal. Jim Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. We couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and he did the crime to get it. How's that?
Judge?
We thought that too, but...
But...
The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims.
Only the victims, huh?
I see. So much for my theory then. I believe that's enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on Guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him.
Here it comes. Looks like Edward's back in full swing.
Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir.
Why arrest on Guard?
Matt on Guard and Juan Corda were huge rivals with each other. They each thought that the other guy was in the way. That's the motive enough in my books.
That's... okay. That's like a petty motive.
As for the evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja's costume and was found in Matt on Guard's hammock. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife.
That knife is golden, sir.
The defendant brought the knife of the crime.
For
For what? Okay, brought the knife. Wow, yeah, Brought the knife. Wow.
You're having a lot of problems reading.
Yes, the defendant brought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. Wow, I don't know why I had a hard time with that one. So the fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so fingerprints came pretty clearly, sir.
Knife.
Neff.
I look at the last part of that.
And here's this button. That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And this button is also covered in blood. Yes, we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir.
What?
That makes sense. All this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it?
No.
I mean, it does, but it's suspicious as hell. Yes, most certainly it does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right?
Huh. I'll find a hole in your argument somehow.
You can press as hard as you like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Why arrest Matt on guard?
Hang on. Huge rival for each other. They thought the other was in his way, molded enough in the book. There's the Jammy Ninja button. It was ripped off the costume, found in the fingerprints all over the knife. Brought the knife for the crime, which make this a premeditated
murder. Look at your evidence.
The fuck? I mean, yes, brought the knife, that makes it premeditated murder. But after you strangled them to death, why the heck would you stab him with a knife?
Well, I think you said because he had his fingerprints all over it. But why would Matt and Guard do it?
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm not talking about why would the murderer do that. I know the murderer is trying to pin it on Matt and Guard. I'm just wondering why they think the defendant would fucking do that.
Look at the knife again.
Oh wait, I didn't look at the new evidence. Okay.
Yeah.
Ripped from his costume, covered in Cordo's blood, found in Matt and Guard Hakama. Mirrored the victim's blood and Ungar's fingerprint in the grip. Gate water is engraved. Also, that's so little blood for a stab wound. Look at that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood here and there's like no blood here. I just want to press on. There's no way this was a premeditated murder. Even if he brought the knife. He bought the knife. Bought!
Bought the knife. Yes, that's what he said. That's what I said. He bought the knife. Sorry, pal, but this isn't some pocket knife. It's not really useful for anything, and you can't just walk around with it either.
It's not useful for anything. That's why it was the great murder weapon.
Yeah. Hey, not useful for anything. Gatewater.
Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove that it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix. Yes? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully, before it's too late. A button covered in the victim's blood, and a knife with Ungar's fingerprints. Be graceful, if the judge was more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find a weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix? Oh! Think it again. Oh, wait. I mean... Okay. It has Gatewater engraved into it.
Uh-huh.
That means they belong to the hotel.
Yep.
That's the wrong one. I press R to try to move forward. Oh, wait. That was the last one. I was just like, making sure there was nothing after that.
Yeah, there you
go. Excuse you. This is the hotel's knife. Wait a second.
What?
So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. Bought.
Yeah, that's right, pal. The defendant.
Did not buy this knife.
Huh?
Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Huh? It has Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name before somewhere.
I think y'all are all insane and stupid. That's the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel.
Uh-oh.
Oh, indeed, the murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated.
Well, yes, that's very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless.
What?
Finger waggle. I think whether or not the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined.
How so?
I admit this knife is the hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that dumb enough not to realize this.
Right now, currently, no one.
But I didn't. Oh. The question is, where did the knife come from? Why? That's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Corda's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that's incorrect. The victim ate his last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. There was a knife and a fork on the table. Then, what in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Matt on guard. Especially what was on top of this table.
T-bone steak.
There was something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Matt on guard's knife was missing. We came together and found out, yes, a knife is missing from this dinner set.
It took the whole forensic team, but there is a knife for sure missing.
Mr. On Guard had gone into the victim's room with the knife he had used during the dinner. Why would he carry a knife to the visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was premeditated murder. Alright, guys. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction.
It seems like Edward had this plan from the very beginning. Of course he did.
Yep.
I figured it out too, like, at the start. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it.
A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court.
Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence.
What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright?
Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat.
Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court?
The radio transceiver. Nope, that would...
Yeah. What haven't we talked about yet?
The wine glass.
Yep. Bingo. Actually, I do.
There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. This trivial trial. However, I am going to give you one chance. One only. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here.
If I mess this up, it's curses for all of us.
You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. That's your whole bar. Now then, what is this important piece of evidence that you must show the court?
The wine glass. The suicide report, I mean what? Nope.
Yeah.
The wine glass. Because I'm still keeping in mind that we're not gonna present the attempted suicide to court.
Yes.
The attempted suicide. The other suicide, maybe. The tomato juice that is somehow still left standing despite everything else being knocked around.
Yep. This is a wine glass, is it not?
Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser.
Well, yes, I see your point.
However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do y'all have to say? Phoenix, you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, well, yes, it is a little particular. Peculiar, rather.
Yes, isn't it? I thought it was.
You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth? What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass.
What?
It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example.
For example.
She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright.
Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? No, I obviously have no evidence.
Yes, we do not have evidence, but it seemed like that's in character for her.
It does not seem like it's in character. Also, I meant to look at the crime photo. I forget, was the tomato juice not touched?
The wine glass was not touched by, no one drank out of it. I don't know if anything was said about the tomato juice bottle.
If I say yes, then probably that's the end of our case.
Correct, yeah.
So, no. Process of elimination.
Yep.
If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. But Phoenix is so easy to read. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution theory. We would like to see something that proves that it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table.
You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim?
There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. And he has some.
Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it.
What?
You're not thinking hard enough today, right? Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice?
Fingerprints. The den.
Of course, it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints.
Fingerprints.
No, fingerprints. There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose are they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were one Adrian Andrews.
What?
Well, okay.
I wanted to know about fingerprints on the glass.
And that is why I said that the person who discovered the body had left it there.
Sorry. Dang it! Move! I will say this right now. If I had discovered a body that's like on the other side of the room, and I had a glass, I would have walked all the way to the body to set down the glass.
Yeah.
But okay, let's just see where we're going.
Already done here, Mr. Wright.
I can't believe I fell for another trap.
Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corica. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser.
I mean, so stunned that she had to walk all the way there and set the glass down on the dresser.
Maybe she was going to check the body.
If I clearly see this knife protruding out of this chest, I wouldn't be like, oh, he's sleeping.
What you said does make a lot of sense. Now, do you see right? You can't change any part of my scenario that explains everything all too well.
Grr.
I thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Well, wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I can't allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from.
Another witness?
Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness.
Oh, yay, Edgeworth had to deal with Obag again. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking?
Well, guys, we are going to call it here, and we all know that familiar alien suit spaceman costume.
The lamp from the Pixar.
So, yes, exactly. So, we will be investigating and getting the testimony from the Pixar lamp next episode. See you guys then.
Bye.